3, 2, 1.
Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to Scoreboard. I am Brandon Medina. I am here as always with my partner in crime and your SWISD Athletic Director, Mr. Peter Wagner. How are we doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Brandon?
Doing well. We want to thank you guys for listening to Scoreboard. This is your one-stop shop for all things Southwest ISD athletics.
Hey, I was at the employee banquet last night,
Yeah.
and I saw your mom.
Yes.
And
Who's just showing up
she's
everywhere.
She's awesome, right? And stuff like that. So we gave her a hug and everything. I was like, man, I think you get the most shout-outs on the Scoreboard podcast than anybody there is.
And
she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh.
You know what it is? You know what it is? Is because she doesn't want to give me the rub. Yeah, she's
you
like,
finally get to be the star of the show. You're not on the bench. You are the quarterback of the team.
You know what
and
it is?
She's like, she didn't even come to watch.
No, you know what it is? She doesn't want to make my head bigger. That's what it is. That's what it is. She knows her son. She's like, I can't. If I tell him, hey, great job with this every time, he's gonna get a big head. So that's what it is. But anyways,
your mom was awesome.
Yeah, she definitely is always involved, staying involved. Even past I graduated a while back, and so here we are. So coming up on 10 years, which is kind of weird to think about. Next year will be our 10-year reunion for the class and stuff like that.
Good Lord, I'm old.
I know, yeah. You were coaching us since we were freshmen, so that's rough.
Jeez.
Man. Anyways, though.
No wonder my back hurts carrying you guys
Whatever.
all the time.
Anyways, we have a lot to get into. We just ended softball season. We'll talk about that. We also are concluding baseball season, but track and field is still out making waves in the track and field arena of athletics here in Southwest and in the region. So let's start with softball. Softball's come to a close, sir. What did you think about the season?
Well, I think that the Dragons. I think the Dragons probably overachieved a little bit, and even though they had a pretty
young squad,
yeah, they had a pretty disappointing loss, last weekend. But they started 5 freshmen. The battery, like we've talked about, was freshmen and stuff. So big things there. A couple of sophomores. I think we started two seniors and a junior. Everybody else is an underclassman.
Wow. And
they got, like we talked about last week, they got some people coming up. So big things happening. We got some things going on. I think that there's a group of young girls coming up at Legacy. So some big things in the softball world as we move over to the summer side of things.
Absolutely. Young squad. I think you have a lot to grow, a lot to be proud of this season. Coach Hernandez, of course, we just celebrated her being here for 15 years yesterday at the employee banquet.
Yeah.
It's 15 years of just dedication, and she's proven herself to be probably the best coach in the city as far as softball, one of the best in the state. So
Bar none, for sure.
Definitely we want to just give a big shout out to that squad. Obviously, Legacy squad, another young squad looking to grow. Baseball also concluding, sir. What did you think about baseball season?
Man, I think that we lost a couple of good kids that we with Nate Gomez and those guys last year, and they just came in. We had a freshman phenom that came in, and the young Samudio kid and everything, whose brother was all-state track guy and center fielder. Just a recap of a little history lesson from about 4 years ago. One of the greatest dual sport, probably fun things to do is when you get to go and watch a baseball game in Dripping Springs, and he gets done with the baseball game, hops in his parents' car, and we all drive over to the state track meet, and he runs in the state track meet on the same day. Wow. So they win game 2 against Dripping Springs, and then he goes down and gets 4th or 5th in the 400 in the state track meet. So that was the freshman phenom Samudio's little brother that was on the mound, and big things coming. They got some young cats at the baseball as well. They lost some close games. Lost 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th.
And that's Southwest?
That was Southwest, yep. And then there's some youngins at Legacy, too, that are coming up, and I think that there'll be some good things going. So a lot of good things building. We'll talk about this a little bit in a recap next week, too. But, Southwest had an overall amazing year and stuff, just with how much success they had. Every team sport, except for one, was in the top 4. Obviously, the baseball team didn't make the playoffs. They were in a play-in game, but they were in a 4-way tie for second.
Yeah.
And they lost about 3 or 4 games in that second round of district that were by 1 run in the bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 9th, things like that. So little things that could have gone from district championship to not getting in.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they finished second. So great job by them. Look forward to everything coming up next year with the coaching staff and the kids coming up and having a great summer and getting to their club teams and getting to strength and conditioning and all that kind of stuff that we'll talk about next week. We'll have all the dates and times and where everybody needs to be and things like that. One thing I want to shout out real quick is if you need to make sure you're getting your physical paperwork in and everything, because you can't do strength and conditioning without it. And I'll bring that up again next week. But definitely have to get that stuff into your coaches.
Tell you what, strength and conditioning, it's the worst thing. I hated it, but your boy was always there, and I think you make a lot of.
I think you were more of a Monday, Wednesday arm guy.
Yeah.
You were not the lunges guy.
No, not the lunges guy, but you know what? Your boy could squat the world. I'll tell you that right now.
If the world was Pluto.
I know. But those strength and conditioning times, especially when it comes into like your summer workouts, that is where you make some of the most incredible memories and friendships because all that stuff is not, I guess, quote unquote, on paper, something you need to do. It's an extra added in that can help make you
get to do to get better.
Yeah, that can make you better. And even if you're somebody like myself who maybe wasn't the best guy, wasn't the worst guy, but definitely I wouldn't say wasn't in the middle of the pack, it's still something that you should do for yourself, do for your teammates, and just to be there for one another. And so it's an incredible opportunity coming up. But I know, do we have a date for the I guess sports banquet and stuff like that maybe people can look
we'll
out
be
for?
doing we've sent out invites for the SWISDs. The Southwest High School award ceremony is next Monday, May 8th, and then Legacy is on the 15th.
Okay,
both on Mondays.
Gotcha.
And stuff. Those who get invited are getting awards.
Okay,
and so something that's important to know is we do every sport gets their own banquet that the Booster Club pays for. They eat, they have a good time. That's where everybody gets recognized. You know, your freshman B teamers, your freshman A teamers, your JV guys and girls, everybody gets recognized. That's where they really get to do that. These banquets are for like the people who are academic all state. They were first or second team all district. Their team went to the playoffs, but all of those types of things are Dragon and Titan Warriors, things like that. Those top 15, we had 150 of them. We're only recognizing the top 15 at this one. This is kind of like where the cream of the crop comes. So everybody gets recognized at their individual banquets, because when we used to do the old way, where it looked like a graduation, everybody got their certificate, shook their hand, took a picture, and moved on. It wasn't quite as meaningful, I think, and stuff. And so Coach Franco and Coach Black and Coach Molina and them, they put together those highlight videos. They put together some pretty cool stuff that we do. You know, we got we call it SWISBs at Southwest, because it's kind of like the SB Awards, right? You got the game of the year, the team of the year, the play of the year, the performance of the year, things like that. And we try to kind of bring that in to the fold, instead of just giving somebody a piece of paper and shaking their hand. So it's a little more entertainment.
Well, like we said, Southwest will be on the 8th. Southwest Legacy will be on the 15th. Those invited will begin awards. Definitely something to look out for. And then I know this week's episode will be a pretty quick one. So hopefully as you're listening on your drive home, we'll be coming to an end shortly. However, next week we'll follow up about what things look like on the grand scope as far as volunteering and all that good stuff that we encourage our student athletes to do when it comes to the Warrior program. And so we'll have an update on that, I believe, Coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give an update on that, update on where things stand. And then this show will be taking a pause, obviously, going into the summer. And then we'll be picking up as we continue starting athletics again up in the fall. Or up in the fall semester, I'm sorry.
July 31st, sir.
Yeah.
That's when school starts for athletics.
There we go.
July 31st.
July 31st. You heard it here first. So with that, let's go ahead and end the show on a high note, because we have some incredible athletes who are making waves, like I said, not just in the district, but across the state, across the region. Let us know about track and field, sir.
So first of all, let's give a shout-out to all of our middle schools, because tonight's their zone meet. This is like their district meet this week. The top 2 qualifiers tonight at the zone meet go on to the Meet of Champions in the Big 22 conference. So pretty much the whole South Side is in our middle school conference, and so the top 2 in that one get to go next week. So we'll have some of those things next week as we get ready to go too. But the biggest news is pretty cool. Southwest High School had a really nice showing at regionals. We had a couple kids place. Madison Pettis had another great meet, placed in the top 6 in both the 800 and the mile.
Wow.
You had Polo Salazar placed fifth and sixth, I think it is, in the shot. He got 6th, I think, and in the discus he got 5th, but it was right in there. Didn't have the meet that he probably really, really wanted to, but I mean, if you place in the top 5 or 6, you're in the regional finals. You know what I mean? That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And everything. And then our mile relay team at Southwest made the finals as well. They ran a 3:25 in prelims and got 6th, I think, overall, 5th or 6th in the finals. And that's a big deal because the mile relay that's where the big boys come to run and turn it on and go. You know, we were talking about Miles Moxley ran a 49 opening leg. Angel Quintero got 5th in the 200, turned around and anchored the mile relay team and stuff like that. So really good legs, really good meet for those guys. But then obviously, you know, the star of the show is Anthony Zapata.
Who we talk about every week.
Who we've talked about all year, except if we had indoor season, we would have been literally talking about him for the entire year. Yeah. And he's only a junior.
Yep.
And stuff, so he'll be talking about him all year next year.
Yep.
And everything
I
else
was
like
telling
that.
Chief about him, actually. We had Miss Roxy Freeman recognized by HEB as one of the top educators in the state, and we were there doing like a little pep rally with her at McCullough. And I was telling Chief about him, and Chief goes, "Man, tell the kid to join soccer." I said, "Chief, not everything has to be soccer focused,
right?
man."
For
I was
real.
like, "We love our soccer team, but this kid's tearing it up." But it was so funny. The first thing he said was like, "Tell him to join soccer." I was like, first off, we don't have that influence, sir.
Yeah.
And when you're going to state meets or regional meets, I think it's probably safe to
His
say
stride's a little different than a soccer player.
Probably safe to say he's doing the best where he is right now. So.
For real.
But anyways,
so that guy went out and he went out and won the 800. So he's the first regional champion at Southwest Legacy High School, period, and first one to go to the state track meet.
Is he at Legacy or Southwest?
He's at Legacy.
Legacy, gotcha.
Yes, and he's at Legacy, and then he went out after he won the 800, went out and got 4th in the mile and stuff. So we were talking about all those guys who got first and who got 5th and 6th and things like that with the Dragons, and Anthony went out and almost got probably scored in the top 50. He's probably in the top 12 as a team in the region just by himself.
Wow.
And stuff like that, you know. So he ran a 155. I think he's sitting with that time in about 4th or 5th in the state right now as he gets ready for the state track meet. State track meet, I think, is on Friday the 12th. Okay. So next Friday. So we'll have a little bit of time before we do that. And then so really excited about the things. And I'll tell you just a quick plug is Anthony was above average last year as a sophomore in cross country and track. And he went out and ran all summer with the Stunners. And just a plug for the Stunners, you know, we're getting ready to do all that, and they're out here practicing. And so we're trying to get as many kids, even if you're just looking for a way to get in shape and stay in shape with our young kids, or if you're somebody listening with 3rd, 4th, 5th graders, you know, get them out here and let's get them running this summer and stuff. It's affordable. They practice at night. And that's how we make great athletes. I mean, great athletes make great teams. You know, great athletes with great character make great teams. And that's how we teach them. You got to get them involved early before they get hooked on video games too fast.
Yep, absolutely. With that, we want to say a big congratulations to everybody, Madison Perez, Anthony Zapata, all of our incredible relay squads. And when it comes to athletics and track and field, and of course the relay, I don't want to miss the opportunity to mention as well that tomorrow on Cinco de Mayo we'll have our Relay for Life event happening down at Dragon Stadium here at Southwest High School. This is going to be, I mean, it's a tradition of traditions. It used to be a lot longer. We used to go into the early mornings. Now we just go to midnight, but definitely come by. It's a celebration of life, remembrance of those who are here with us and have beat cancer, and those who are not here, but we want to remember their lives. So make sure you come stop by. We're going to have a lot of great things, weather permitting. We will be updating our social medias if there's any weather issues. However, Relay for Life is happening tomorrow, and we'll be talking more to you guys about those Warrior in general, the Warrior program happening here at Southwest to see, all the incredible stuff.
Bias, man.
Never biased. All the incredible stuff that our student athletes are doing. There's no bias, sir. We talk about Anthony every week. That's all I can get. But with that, we just want to say thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you for being with us for the past months of us doing this. Mr. Peter Wagner and myself have had a good relationship from, coach and student athlete to just being good buddies now working together. I think this is a really unique opportunity. We've heard really good feedback from students who have appreciated being highlighted at different levels. We try to do our best to highlight everybody from tennis to track and field to golf to soccer to baseball, basketball, football, all that great stuff, softball. Let us know if you ever have a story. If we can ever, I want to encourage you guys to reach out to us on social media, to reach out to us, call our offices or email us. And I think we really are looking to get more student focused with student interviews and all that great stuff. But overall, we hope that this has been great content for you all looking to learn about Southwest ISD athletics. And then, like Coach Wagner said, we'll have maybe one or two more shows, and then we'll be back July 31st is when athletics kicks off once again. So with that, I am Brandon Medina. That is Mr. Peter Wagner. This is Scoreboard, and as always, we are Southwest.
2, 1.